We're unmuted, so we're good to go.
We're ready to go.
We are ready to go.
This is John Albanian, Chair of the Parks and Rec Board, Advisory Board, and I would like to call the meeting to order. Roger, do you want to make your comment?
Oh, yes, that's right. I don't really have it. Well, this is a hybrid meeting. I'll try to do something from memory a little bit. The thing I forgot, that's what I should have been frantically running for. This is a hybrid meeting, so we do have people on Zoom and in the room. If you are on Zoom, we ask that those participants that are part of the board be on camera, those that aren't. But if you want to, at the point when you get called on to speak, to turn on your Zoom, and we'll let you speak at that point. We do have the rule that if you are become a distraction, we can mute you and also turn off your video if it becomes a distraction within the meeting. With that, I'll turn it back over to you, John.
Okay, our first agenda item is the approval of the minutes from November 13 meeting. Are there anyone have any issues with the minutes?
Yeah, I have one question.
Sure.
Sorry to take this. The minutes kind of change from time to time, and it said something about public comment was, I don't know, accepted or, but it didn't say whether there was any public comment or not. So I just wondered.
I don't.
Or any public, yeah.
I don't think there was.
So should it say no public comment?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'll make that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it sounds like it says the board heard public.
Oh, okay, I guess I didn't update that.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's good.
I'm an editor, so.
Oh, I appreciate that.
So is there a motion to approve the minutes?
With that correction.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve and a second of the minutes. Let's see, just raise your hand, I guess, if that's, the approval is okay. Good, okay, good, that's good. Okay, next item is, oh my God.
Winter bike.
I guess it took a longer way to get here because of all the lights, you know?
Oh. It was distracted.
I wish, no. Just I can.
Is there any public comment on the item that is not on the agenda? Not just.
We don't have any on Zoom or anything.
So the first item on the regular agenda is a registration report. And Roger is going to talk about.
Thank you, John. I just want to kind of show you, as I think I've mentioned several meetings, that we've had a really outstanding year for registration this year. I put together some slides that I'm going to share with you, kind of go through this presentation if I can figure this out. Share screen, and then I go to my little presentation. Share this screen, and then I will make this become from the beginning. Okay, so this is kind of an ongoing year to year, year by year presentation. We'll get this little box over here. For just a moment, I guess. We'll put it down here for just a second. Okay, so yeah, there we go. We can do it like that. This kind of shows you the trends of enrollment. The top point here is 2015, 2016. This line right here, if it was to end today, this is 2023 this year. So this is the third all-time high for registrations for the year. So, and then of course, these years down below, that's COVID year 2020 and 2021. And I'm going to go through some other numbers, but really the thing that we want to look at is how we did from this year to from last year to this year. And currently we're here at 24,401 registrations, and all of 2022, we had 18,733.
What constitutes a registration?
Right, thank you. That's a very good question, and I was going to kind of go into that a little bit.
Okay.
So like when you enroll in a fitness class, that's one registration. So if you enroll in 6 things, that's 6 registrations.
Okay.
So during the COVID years, we had some programs like an open gym for the gymnastics area where people paid $5 and they let their kid run around and burn energy. During COVID, because of the contact tracing, we started to have them register for those programs as well. So we got the data and we knew how to contact the people. The other part of it is there was some cash handling policies that we needed to get instituted. So we now have them registering for those classes as well. So everything gets registered through RecTrack. And that way we can kind of see what people are enrolling in, regardless if it's an open gym time or a regular class. So to me, it's better from the data collection point of things. And so this just shows you 2022 to 2023. And I also want to offer Lindsay opportunity to speak if there's anything that she wants to say as we go along here. And maybe Lindsay at the very end, if you want to speak to anything, we can do it at that time. But really, the year has gone really well. One of the other things is when people enroll, like right now, they're enrolling in winter, spring classes that start in January and even clear to March. Those will not, the money does not go into this year's budget. It will go in at a rate of when it starts and then it matriculates in. So it's in like a holding account, so to speak, until it's released for the classes.
When is the registration counted?
Pardon me?
When is the registration counted?
It's in these numbers. I have them as part of this, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I do it on an annual basis. So we get last year's last year. I mean, like the beginning of the winter, spring from 2023 is part of 2022, the registration numbers.
Okay.
And the accounting's kind of changed over the years where the money used to come in and now we do it more proper accounting so that it's accrued at the rate when it's supposed to go in when the class starts.
Is anyone blown away by 25,000 registrations? I mean, I was like, what?
And I know people on waiting lists too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you say that?
This is just another graphic representation of the years. I like to look at it in all different forms. I'm a visual learner. So this is basically that same slideshow, this slide, but it's put more in a different format. Yes, no, go ahead. Sorry.
So when you're saying that since this year now we're registering people who do open, like the open gyms and the runarounds, do you know what percentage of that is of the?
It's part of it. I have not gone that deep into the dive there, but it's actually in the 2021 and 2022.
Oh, okay, so it's been around for a few years.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so that increase is a
During COVID.
genuinely good increase.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
perfect.
yes, yes. So again, let me just highlight 2014 in October was when we opened SPL. So 2015 was a full year of SPL, the shiny new object. So that number became the high point. And then 2016 was shortly off of there. Now, this drop off here, that's a very big question. I tried to analyze it as much as I could. Part of the problem I had was we switched enrollment systems. And so I wasn't able to do the daily enrollment numbers that I've been able to start doing again. And so I've gone back and collected a lot of the data and I haven't been able to analyze exactly what happened. But again, it's in the past. So I'm really looking toward the future in terms of trying to figure out, how we continue to sustain that measure. The other part of this is facility space. That becomes a big question at where are we at? Are we nearing capacity? And that's a number I think we need to probably look at again here to see where we're at from the standpoint of, because we want to maintain rental space for people, but we also have to have the programming space for classes and those types of things. I think we're still okay on that. And Lindsay might be able to speak to that a little bit. But I also have a break. This is one of my crazy ones that it really told me a lot when I first started looking at this, when I started doing trends, because everything's cyclical. This one, I know it looks like a crazy mess, but originally we had things kind of going in a nice little up and down, and that's kind of the way I wanted it. But when COVID happened, you have the downturn here, and even this year here is we started doing it by month during COVID. And then out of COVID, we've started doing this enrollment where we had winter, spring, summer, and then we did fall separate. And that's why you're seeing these little peaks here for fall. And then winter, spring, this is the winter, spring for this year. And December's down because it will continue to climb as the rest of the month continues here. So right now we're at, well, here, let me just do this for a second here. I can go in and it'll actually tell me how many I have. So 776 right now for enrollment. How do I get back to my presentation?
I think from the second one and from current slide.
Okay, thank you. Couldn't read. Okay, so these are, this is gonna be the new trend that we have, this up and down, and then that jump up in August for the fall. So it's just starting a new trend. And again, I have it broken down by month, so you can kind of see the history and the trends that we've had in enrollment by month. And I just want to point out, April was a very sad month of 2020, when we basically shut down the whole program there. But hopefully, and I'm glad that's behind us, so. And then just the other months through May through August. And then current September through December here. So.
Roger, do these include signups for kids' sports?
Yes.
So every kid who signs up for basketball is in there.
Well, and the other part of that though, Marilyn, and it's a good point, we have team registration for adults and also some of the competitive basketball. There's just one registration, but there may be 11 participants on a team or something like that. So this isn't by no means a number. This is just a registration number. And, you look at it from this, I always look at it from the standpoint of we're looking at apples and oranges year to year, but there is some measure of understanding, and that's that trend line that you look for to make sure it's making sense. So, and it's kind of up and down. And I think looking at the history, knowing that we're resetting a little bit in terms of when we're releasing, the classes are opening up registration. And I'm sorry if I say enrollment, that's a different, I'm from higher ed, that's my old background. But enrollment management is a big piece to what I do. And this is kind of the way I'm treating it. That's why I have enrollment on here. I should probably have registration, but my old college experience coming out of me. But that kind of just shows you the trends by month. So that's my report. Lindsay, did you have anything to speak to as well?
Sure. Thanks, Roger. Lindsay Hart, Interim Director. I just wanted to add, one thing that obviously goes hand in hand with these registration numbers is the revenue. And I did want to report that we have surpassed our revenue goal for 2023, which is really exciting. As you all know, we started off the year adjusting our numbers and trying to be realistic, and came up with a number that we felt was, a goal that we could achieve. And so we had it set at about 4.49 million. And at the end of November, we were over 4.5. So we have already hit that goal, and we still have another month to go. So we're feeling really good about where we're at. Just again, this goes along with all the numbers that Roger just shared. So thank you for that information.
Yeah. And I have numbers too, but they get really conflicting because they're, like I said, they're released in 2024. So they would really be apples and oranges. So.
Okay, good. Let's move on to the.
Well, does anybody have any other questions from the board? I don't want to make sure that, okay, good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Roger. Let's see, Lindsay, comprehensive plan update.
Yes, hopefully you all received the email I sent earlier today. I wanted to make sure everyone had a chance to read or see the presentation that Confluence gave last week at the City Commission meeting. And so we just wanted to give just kind of a quick recap and an update this evening. But in general, I spoke with Confluence, and it looks like the statistically valid survey will be complete by the end of the year. And so we're kind of waiting on that right now. And then the ball will really start rolling at that point. Once we get the the results back. They will start digging into the findings, and then that's really going to lead to the development of their initial recommendations. Once that starts to be developed, they plan to meet with the board as well as the steering committee, and they're hoping to do that in late January or early February. They want to review the results and start to direct the recommendation for the plan. They want to meet with those two groups before the second public workshop, which they do have a goal or kind of a tentative date of mid-February. Then they will start to put together the final recommendations for the city to review by about mid-March. And so then they will bring it back to the board, to receive a draft and provide comments. And then it will go to the city commission for final approval in approximately mid-April. So that's pretty much where we stand. And I don't know if anyone has any specific questions other than that. Again, there was quite a bit of information they shared at the presentation. So hopefully everyone can review that. But if you have any follow-up questions, we're happy to answer those.
Lindsay, John, now Mandy and I have one. Can you tell us a little bit about the relationship between our board, the steering committee board, city commission? How is that playing out? How is that working?
Yeah, and sort of along with the timeline that I just explained, but once they get the survey results completed, then the steering committee will be, they'll be meeting with steering committee next, and they're going to assist with the development of the plan as we put it into final draft form. Once that draft is complete, they're going to present it to the advisory board for comments and feedback, and then it will move on to the city commission for approval.
Okay, that's great. Good. Okay, any comments, questions?
Jackie Becker. So I watched the city commission, the whole part of it, and looked at everything. And I know that former Commissioner Shipley had mentioned the cemeteries. And so I just want to make sure that was an oversight. It's definitely going to be back and included in all the things that is being discussed with the plan and whatnot. It definitely seemed like a big oversight when they were discussing things with, the public and the commission.
Yes, I know, I believe it was PJ stepped back up to the podium during the meeting and did confirm that cemeteries will be included. So I don't know, Mark, if you want to throw anything else in there, but yes, it will definitely be included.
Yeah, Mark Ecker, Assistant Director. So basically what we're doing is looking at what they've gathered and trying to identify anything that got missed. So there's a few parts that weren't in their inventory too. So it's a little bit of a check and balance. They said, okay, we're done. And then we go, well, except for this and this and this. So it's a big department when you really start to try to make a list of everything we do. So they're learning with us that wait, you forgot cemeteries, or you forgot Rock Chalk Park, which they did. So little things like that.
Little things.
Yeah. So
have they shared anything about the comparable cities?
not much.
Not much.
Yeah, I'd like to see some of that information
I
too.
really hope so.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful for us.
Those are good. What was it, Columbia, Bloomington, or Corvallis? I mean, I'd be very interested.
Yeah, I think that's going to be interesting, whether we're high or low either way, so.
Okay.
This is Marilyn Hull. At our last meeting, I think we talked about some of the difficulties with the survey that they had put out. Do we have evidence that that's been corrected? And is there follow-up social media campaign going out to sort of try to pick up people who haven't filled it out yet?
They did make updates. They made it a lot easier to navigate. What I've seen is a good response. People have responded to that pretty well. They didn't speak about that on Tuesday, but and then I think there are some, we're continuing.
Yes, I met with Abby this morning for this afternoon, and we're getting our campaign, and that's a part of it as well. So you'll be seeing it in the next several weeks as well. And my question was, when are they going to be taking it down? And I know that it's through the end of the year and even into next year.
Yeah, they said
too,
basically through January,
Right.
maybe even into
So we'll be
February.
running it for a while.
So there's opportunities to, nudge people further to say, hey, if you really want to make comment, there's 3 methods here to do that.
Well, I know the holidays get a little bit impactful too. That's why I wanted to make sure we could extend it a little further out. So,
It's also important to mention that, and you may have seen this in social media, ETC survey has put out a public version of their statistically valid survey through social media. So people can go in and use that survey as well, and that's being pushed out by ETC via social media.
Via your social media?
Via their social media.
Did we pick it up? I know last time we did.
I think we can pick it up,
Okay.
yeah. I've seen it I think the city has picked it up. I've seen it on our city website.
Survey, how do the people of Lawrence get?
It's a separate survey, so they do it intentionally. So they have their survey that they've mailed to different.
Right, I get that.
And then this is just a random version. They give a different data set.
No, I understand that. I'm just trying to figure out
How people.
how a person like me sees ETC pop up on my social media feed. I'm not friends with them or I don't follow
It's
them.
through the city. Sorry, I didn't articulate that
Okay,
well.
okay, yeah.
The city has picked it up and is promoting that as well.
Okay.
I got an ad for it and I just did it.
Right.
It's because, so yeah, I think probably what they did was just like do a social media ad and you can target people in a certain radius. I'm sure they just did that for Lawrence. So I just got an ad for it and I took it. So worked for me.
Can I ask which social
I
media?
think it was Instagram.
Instagram?
Yeah.
I think I've seen it on Facebook and Instagram.
But I think the key is the random sample.
Totally. Yes,
I mean, that's
that's the statistically
that's
valid.
what I'm looking
Yeah.
for. Yeah.
If you haven't been on that pinpointing little exercise you can do, that's a really cool thing too, because you can go in and drop a pin and say, I really think this is a great place for a dog park, or I think we need playgrounds over here. And what's cool about it is you can go in and see what everybody else has commented. You're like, oh, okay, that's interesting, because people are all over the place, but it's getting a lot of interaction. That there's golfers interacting and there's, people at the dog park, and then, and people are throwing out ideas that I think this would be a good place for this. And I would encourage you all to do the same thing, is go and throw a few ideas on there.
Yeah, I was kind of skeptical about that because, there's no cost. I mean, it's like, would you rather have this or this?
Mhm. Yeah.
Rather,
Yeah.
oh, I want everything.
Yeah.
Check all the boxes.
I like gold and silver.
I mean,
Well,
that's why I think the random sample is going to be of some value. Okay, next item, Lindsay's going to bring us up to date on the director's search for director.
Yes, so the position has officially been posted. It's on the GovHR USA website right now. That is our recruiter who's handling the process. The city is working to get the position advertised on several association websites, such as the Kansas Recreation and Park Association, the National Recreation and Park Association, Missouri Park and Rec Association, ICMA, and others. So it's gonna be in all the usual places, including our website, and it will be promoted on social media too. And the posting closes on January 8th, and then interviews will begin soon after that. And I just wanted to thank the members of the board who were able to provide some input and meet with the recruiting firm a few weeks ago. Thank you to those who were able to do so. I have spoken with HR, and they do plan to include a member of the advisory board in part of the interview process early next year. So I'll pass that information on as they get a plan put together, but otherwise that is the update as of now.
Good, so we will have some input into the search itself. That's great. And I understand that the director of the search is going to be Charlene Stevens. Do you know that? Yeah.
Yes, I have spoken with Charlene, and then I believe Joseph is the other gentleman involved.
Okay, well, Charlene has a MPA from KU, so she knows Lawrence.
So you taught her.
Yeah. She's a former student, yeah. Okay, that sounds good. Thank you. Thank you very much, Lindsay. Roger, board housekeeping.
Right, and I didn't know how to phrase this, but I wanted to kind of, first of all, thank the board members that are going off after their second term today, and that's John Blazick. He's actually fulfilling 7 years.
Wow.
He was part of the old alignment where they were serving 4-year terms. So he served his 4-year term, and then when he re-upped, it was a 3-year term. So he's had 7 years of the board. So thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Andrea is also somebody who is finishing up, Andrea. She's finishing up her first term, and she has been reappointed for a second term, so she'll be with us for another 3 years. And then Amber is also up for renewal, and she's chosen not to renew. She has other things going on in her life, so thank you for your time on the board as well. And so next month, I have kind of spoken with the former mayor and the mayor, saying we need to try to get these appointments done. So they're aware, and hopefully we'll be getting those appointed in the next few weeks. And then January, we'll have the board chair and vice chair nominations, and hopefully somebody will accept those nominations and vote it in for next year. At that meeting, John will preside over the full meeting. Hopefully, I mean, it can be switched at that time, but it's better just to kind of keep it all the same way. And then the next meeting in February, the new appointments of chair and vice chair would take place there. So just be thinking about if you want to serve next year as chair or vice chair, if you have time to do so. And, that way in the meeting, when we come to that meeting, we won't, people will be able to say, I have time or no time to do that. So.
Also,
Just Valerie, no question. Are there enough candidates in the pipeline for the city to approve, or should we encourage people to?
Well, I always encourage people to apply, regardless of if there's, enough in there or not. I never know. We don't see it. So, and we do have people that leave midterm as well. So it's always good to have a group of people that the mayor can select.
I think too, if you know somebody, given where we're headed, Parks, Rec, Arts and Culture, if you know somebody who you think might really make a contribution to the integration of that, I think encourage them. All they have to do is fill out the form on the city's websites where it says boards and commissions. And I've done that with a person from the health department. Someone, see if we can get a connection there. So we'll see how that goes. So I encourage anyone, if you have other people in mind. Okay. All right, so let's see, other concerns of other board members? Or other concerns of board members?
I don't have any concerns, but the lights look fantastic.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah.
We've gotten so many compliments this year. It's
Have you?
great. Yeah, it's really honestly different than we've had in the past. It's just, it seems like people are just like, wow, that's really cool this year.
Or did you add the red?
Yeah, we changed the mid blocks, so those used to be multicolored, so now they're green. So we had red before, but the red and green really pops. And the big blue tree at Carnegie Building's got a lot of compliments too. And then this tree right up here.
I like it.
A lot of people brought that. And then the town center. Yeah, with the twinkly lights on town center, it's got a lot of compliments.
So who, I know you guys put them up, who actually do you guys get together and talk about design,
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm involved with some of it, and the forestry guys like to surprise me on things. So, so sometimes I'll go, you'll see. And all right, have at it. Let's see what you got. So this was a surprise. They ordered different lights, and it's like, okay, you're gonna love this. Like, all right, let's see what you got.
Oh, I bet they really like that.
I think they enjoyed surprising me on.
Yeah, I went by the train park and I saw the
spinning wheels.
Yeah.
So that was the lifelong goal of Ernie Shaw, our previous director. He's like, you gotta make the wheels spin. I was like, okay, we got it.
Ernie's wheel.
We finally got the technology to make it happen.
Yeah, I took a video, driving down.
A lot of people have, I've seen a lot of
Yeah,
people.
I put it on Facebook and it's kind of cool.
Hopefully they're not while they're driving.
Yeah, hanging out the window.
Yeah. Sam, what's happening with the skate park?
Yeah, actually, I was just gonna talk about that. It's gonna be, I have friends with Ben Havelock, the guy who does Evergreen, and the people who are doing the park, and they're gonna be done and cleared out by January 5th. So it's the addition in that south side is kind of like the final addition to Centennial, and yeah, it should be done here soon. And
Do you like it?
yeah, the design looks really good, and it's looking like it's gonna flow really well. So pretty excited about it.
Do you think people are looking forward to it?
Oh yeah, for sure. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah?
I think also just because it's just been an empty space back there for a while, so it's and the park has never been fully complete since the remodel. So it's finally done, and I think people are really excited about that. And yeah,
It's good to hear. That's really good to hear.
we were actually gonna ask about, do we want to do a ribbon cutting?
Yeah, I think we will.
Hopefully have a random nice day in January for that.
Clear the snow and.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we definitely need to do that.
Cool.
Because we actually had to go in and revamp some of the existing ramps because the concrete wasn't in great shape, so. We had a change order to kind of replace some of the existing.
Okay, let's move on. Let's see, Porter, you have, anything you
I don't
want?
have anything significant to report, but I did get new photos today of the artwork, the public art that's at the transit facility. So I thought I would bring that to your awareness. The interior shot is, so when you're driving on Bob Billings, those two northwest facing windows that face the street are done by this glass artist, Tyler Kimball. Gosh, I totally went out of my head. So that's an interior shot of what it looks like inside during the day with the light coming in, which is beautiful. Those circles in the front are actually bike racks. So people bring their bike racks in and they have this beautiful view there. On the middle, the lower slide are the three light towers that Tyler created that are outside that sort of lead you from the facility out to where the buses will be picking people up and dropping people off. And then the smaller image is a renderings, I don't have images yet, of the chandelier that he made that goes in that same space as the windows that you see on top. Derek actually took that drone photo of the facility a couple weeks ago, so that's what the facility looks like from above. If you scroll down, there's information about the artwork and the artist, and go back up. What's nice about this shot is it shows a person, so it gives you a sense of scale. They're pretty massive, light towers. And then if you scroll down, that's the view from Bob Billings as you pass by. A great shot and nice detail. And then this is actually Tyler working on some of the project, and this is available online, so people can take a look at this.
Where online is it?
I'll send you all the link. It's under Public Art and the Cultural Arts Commission.
Would you do that?
It's on the webpage, yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, if you guys want to share that, it really is, it's beautiful. It's a wonderful example of when public art really is integrated into a facility. Oh, it enhances the facility so much. So I'm very pleased with this.
Great, good. Okay, parks and facilities update?
Sure, a lot of things going on. One thing that's upcoming this Wednesday, we're having a public meeting for the Lawrence Loop section from 7th Street to Constant. So that's that around City Hall. There's been quite a bit of public comments about it. So we have a design firm on now. So this is a public interaction where we're going to say, okay, here's all of the potentials. What's most interesting to you? They're going to take that information, take it through the steering committee that's associated with that group. And then we'll be writing a raise grant in January. So trying to come up with the whatever $25 million we'll buy bridge trail project. So that's coming up this December 13th, 4 to 6 at the Carnegie Building, if you want to come out.
And Jackie is the one serving on that committee for the board.
Day after tomorrow or something?
It's Wednesday.
Yeah, it's Wednesday.
I'm coming as soon as my just food board meeting's done, and I'll sprint over there, so.
Hopefully we have a lot of people attending.
Yeah.
We've kind of pushed it out, so we'll see what happens. Little other things, not little, Dog park electric project is finally done. This is a project we've been working on for about a year to bring power all the way down the road to the dog park. That'll allow us to do a lot of different things with restrooms and shelters and things where we haven't had power down there before. So that's a big improvement that we've been working on for a long time.
People can charge their phones when they're out.
Yes, exactly. That's why we did it.
Quality lights.
Oh, we can do that. Excellent.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
Lions Park, if you haven't been by there, the playground's in and everything's ready except for the rubber surfacing. So that's all we're waiting for is the surfacing. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we'll get that project completely done. So then we'll have the playground and the splash pad. And then the last phase is the shelter, which is in next year's budget. So we're starting to design that piece. So it's going to be kind of a complete renovation of that whole park area over a couple of year period. So Eagle Bend, the pump station is in and on site. It's not functioning yet. So this is the irrigation pump station. The original was when the golf course was built 20 some years ago. So it's replacing the whole system that irrigates the golf course. Huge deal. And we've been working on it for 3 years, I think, to get it in there. So that's going to be a huge improvement that no one will notice, but it'll be very functional. So that's kind of a fun thing. And that's almost $1 million project to get that in there. Holiday Lights, I was going to mention, you already mentioned that. And then the skate park construction was the other thing. That's a $225,000 project. We're doing that in the skate park plus change orders. So we're pushing around 250 on that one. Going to be pretty cool when it's done. I mean, I haven't been up there this week, but they're progressing rather quickly. So
Yeah, they got everything dug out and the framing in place. I think they really just need to like pour concrete and shape it. Yeah.
good. So lots of exciting stuff going on. Seems like we don't have a break period anymore. We've been cleaning up leaves in South Park, which has been like a week-long project. So there's a lot of leaves out there.
Especially the sycamore leaves.
Yes, this tree right here
That's the sycamore.
dropped. It was like, holy cow, you can't walk on the sidewalk.
Let's see, Lindsay, recreation report?
Yeah, so I don't have anything in addition to report for the recreation side of things. Hopefully you're all able to read the report that we submitted, but kind of like Mark said, you know, there's no downtime for us even through the holidays. So, you know, I'd really just like to thank our staff for working hard all the way up through the end of the year. We have a lot of camps and programs that happen during winter break. So it's definitely a busy time for us. And, you know, everybody's just been doing a great job. So nothing in addition to report for the rec side of things. And unless anybody has any questions, I can go on to the director's report. Which to say I don't have anything in addition to report there either, but I did just want to I did want to take this time to just, you know, share my appreciation to John and Amber for the time and dedication that they've given to the board. And, you know, I just want to individually thank each of you for supporting the Parks and Rec Department. So we really appreciate everything you've done for us.
That's good. Okay, let's see, our next meeting is January 8th. Okay, and any other business, anybody? Motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Second?
Second.
Okay, been moved and seconded that we adjourn our meeting. All in favor, raise your hand. Okay, we're done. Thank you.
Very impressive.
And that tree is still there.
Yeah.
Do you know if,
Boy, there's lots of good stuff.
is there like parking